Welcome back to 6 Minute Math, where we turn confusion into clarity 6 minutes at a time. Thank you for joining us today, where we are going to look at fractions, decimals, and percent. Oh my! 6 minutes goes by quickly, so here we go. Our key points when we are looking at fractions, decimals, and percent is a handy little conversion triangle here. To go from decimals to percent, we are simply going to multiply by 100. Conversely, if I were going from percent to decimal, I would do the opposite by dividing by 100. To go from fractions to decimals, I simply go top divided by bottom. But to go from decimals to fractions, there is a little bit of a process. First, I'm going to put my decimal over 1. Then I'm going to multiply both top and bottom by 10 until the decimal is gone. And then lastly, I will reduce. This is such a process. I wanted all of you to get more practice and understanding. So I have a separate video here about changing decimals to fractions. Be sure to check that out. How about if I were to go from fractions to percent and back again? I found the easiest way is to just memorize the common ones. You can work between decimals by going top divided by bottom and then multiplying by 100, but I have found memorization is the easiest way for the common ones. So let's look at some examples. We're going to convert some decimals to percent to start. How do I convert decimals to percent? I simply multiply by 100. 0.36 times 100 is 36%. Be very careful of putting that percent sign at the end, as it does differentiate between the number 36 and 36%, which is important. How about 1.42? Again, I'm going to multiply by 100 for 142%. What if I go the other way from percent to decimal? I would take 85% and divide by 100. I take my 85 and divide it by 100 for 0.85. What about 1.2%? I follow the same steps of dividing by 100, but be very careful. They might be trying to trick you with this percentage of a decimal point. If I were to take 1.2 and divide it by 100, I would get 0.012. If I were to convert fractions to decimals, I would take 1/4 and simply go top divided by bottom. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. And 3 divided by 8 is 0.375. Now on to the more process one of changing decimals to fractions. We're going to take 0.68, and I have my little checklist here. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my decimal over 1. And then I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 10 until I get the decimal place removed. So my first multiplication is 6.8 over 10. And then I will need to do one more multiplication for 68 over 100. At this point, I'm on my last step of reducing or simplifying. We do have a video here at 6 Minute Math, so be sure to check that out. In this case, I'm going to divide by my greatest common factor of 4 for a final answer of 17 over 25. One more example here of decimal to fraction. I'm going to convert 2.25 using my steps. So my first step is to put it over 1 and multiply top and bottom by 10 to get rid of my decimal. First step, 22.5 over 10. I do need one more step here of multiplying by 10. I have 225 over 100. And then I'm going to reduce. In this case, I have a greatest common factor of 25. So I divide top and bottom by 25 for a final answer of 9 over 4. Those are all the examples we have today for converting between fractions, decimals, and percent. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at 6 Minute Math. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below for any topic you want to see me tackle in a future 6 Minute episode. Always remember that the best way to get math is to practice math, so keep on practicing. And until next time, keep solving and evolving.